So the Fever do take down the Connecticut Sun, but the big news is that it looks like Caitlin Clark is injured.
So NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has addressed that report that some NBA owners are frustrated with the financials of the WNBA and the lack of return, especially as the league grows. And here's the thing, that initial report probably needs some context. I don't think it's surprising that the WNBA...
Adam Silver just transformed into a suit-wearing Hulk with a press badge. Caitlin Clark is sidelined from the All-Star Game due to a groin injury, and suddenly the WNBA's biggest night feels more like a high school talent show. Silver isn't angry, he's disappointed. And somehow, that's even more intense. Did he really hint at canceling halftime or shifting the game to a local YMCA? Stick around, this meltdown might end up being more entertaining than the game itself.
Well, shit. We have some really disappointing WNBA injury update. Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for all events of the All-Star Weekend. She did say, don't worry, she's still going to be at Game Ridge. She's still going to be around. She's still going to be making her appearances, signing for the fans, everything she can do to make this a great event. But unfortunately, that groin is still bothering her, and it's the right groin now. We saw her get injured the other night. It was the left groin previously. She did release a really nice statement about it, so I'll go ahead and show you. I'm so excited for Indy to host WNBA All-Star Weekend. I want to thank Indianapolis Host Committee and all the people that have put endless work over the past year to put this event together.
Caitlin Clark has been playing basketball for 20 years. 2 full decades of squeaking sneakers, buzzer beaters, and making defenders second-guess their life choices. From double teams in middle school to full-court presses in high school and college defenses that could confuse NASA engineers, she's faced it all with poise. But now, in the pros, it feels like she's caught in a roller derby collision, with referees who seem like sleep-deprived interns on a sugar high calling the shots.
So there is some really scary, sad, I don't know, it might be earth-shattering to some news. It looks like Caitlin Clark did get injured again in her right groin this time. The previous groin injury was her left groin, and it is not looking good because groins are an injury that do take quite a while to actually fully heal. According to Jesse Moore, MD, he is a regenerative medicine doctor. He does specialize in sports, and this is what he said about Caitlin Clark's injury. Clark appears to have re-aggravated her right abductor groin strain.
For injuries in under 2 seasons, not just bumps and bruises, actual injuries. This isn't random, it's a targeted hit list. Caitlin didn't enter the WNBA with a warm welcome. Instead, she was met with elbows, body checks, and defensive tactics that look like they came straight out of a wrestling match. When you're the biggest attraction since sliced bread and the sole reason arenas are filling up, you also become the prime target. Imagine spending 20 years training, only to be treated like a piñata by opponents who can't beat you fairly.
We've now seen, and we'll take a look, her brother called out the refs last night. We have watched Caitlin Clark get the ever-loving crap kicked out of her for, let me look it down here, looks like about 15 months now, 16 months. And they are about to find out, because I can only imagine how many people now won't tune in to the three-point contest, that won't tune in to the All-Star Game.
And this is where the comedy takes a turn for the tragic. The league's leadership is either asleep at the wheel or too busy creating feel-good highlight reels about unity and growth to realize their biggest star is limping off the court. Again, how does someone go from nearly indestructible to frequently injured all within a rookie contract? Here's a hint. It's not random. This isn't some freak accident reel. This is open season on the player who's single-handedly pulling the league into the spotlight.
The WNBA players reveal under their warm-ups t-shirts a statement to the WNBA. Pay us what you owe us. Statement is being made. You got Caitlin Clark rocking the shirt. So obviously she is in full support. She's going full throttle with the players in these CBA negotiations, trying to get more money, more benefits, etc. This is interesting, guys.
Yet somehow, every time Caitlin gets hit hard, Angel Reese's name gets dragged into the conversation like it's some kind of required script. Is there a memo? An invisible cue? Suddenly, it's all about Reese. as if that's supposed to distract from Caitlyn getting roughed up. It's wild. Caitlyn could twist her ankle slipping on a water bottle, and somehow it would loop back to a Reese highlight reel. It's like the WNBA commentary has a Reese Tourette's mode. Clark gets injured, cue Reese talk. Clark scores 30, cut to Reese on the bench. Is this basketball or a weird rom-com rivalry where the storyline is made up but the injuries are real? Meanwhile, Adam Silver sits courtside looking like he just realized he bought a front row seat to a demolition derby instead of a basketball game. He's not just frustrated, he's running through the 5 stages of grief. Deep down, he knows the league wasn't ready for a player like Caitlyn Clark. WNBA basketball has long been comfortable with slow offenses, low-scoring games, and refs who call fouls with all the passion of someone checking expiration dates. Then along comes Clark. Fast, slick, a genuine crowd magnet. Suddenly, all the league's flaws are under a microscope, and under that scrutiny, chaos erupts.
The effect it has had on the ticket price, the price of the ticket has dropped over 50%. Basically today in Indiana, if you'd like to go to the All-Star Game, it's only cost you $64. Caitlyn Clark can stop a supply chain all by herself. The projection of revenue, the 26% of the revenue that's generated by Caitlyn Clark in the state of Indiana. Now, all of the goods and services.
This isn't basketball anymore. It's a slow-motion self-destruction, soundtracked by whistles that blow 3 seconds too late, or don't blow at all. The refs might as well be spectators betting on the chaos, given how little they seem to intervene. Opponents are treating the court like a demolition derby, hip checks, shoulder shoves, flying elbows, as if it's open gym at some rough playground. Caitlyn isn't just defended, she's being targeted like the league refuses to admit there's a serious problem. Here's the reality check. When your biggest star is hunted on national TV and it's shrugged off as competitive spirit, you're not growing the league. You're tearing it down from within. Caitlyn Clark hasn't been sidelined by bad luck or fragility. She's been injured repeatedly because she draws envy, aggression, and gets caught in the gap of old-school refereeing that fails to protect the game's brightest star. And so far, no one's stepping up to fix it.
You know, I don't want to make too big an issue about one particular player, one particular call, but I think the burgeoning rivalries in professional basketball, you see rivalries obviously among clubs, but also among individual players too.
And let's not kid ourselves. This isn't some random streak of bad luck. This is systematic. You don't rack up this many injuries in such a short time by accident. You rack them up when you're being fouled harder than anyone else on the court, and the people in charge keep swallowing the whistle like it's dessert. The game isn't failing Caitlyn. It's sabotaging her. And no amount of shiny marketing campaigns can cover that up. But here's the kicker. Every time the conversation edges toward the truth, that Caitlyn's being targeted and the league is letting it happen, someone raises their hand and blurts out, "But Angel Reese." Like that's some kind of rebuttal. Like we can't talk about Clark getting hacked without first updating Reese's stat line. What's next? Blaming Clark's groin injury on Reese's hair flips. The obsession is delusional. Caitlyn could be sidelined for a month and the narrative would still twist itself into a pretzel, talking growth, rivalries, or how other players are just as important. Here's a reality check. Nobody's buying tickets to see a bench full of just as importance. They're showing up because Caitlyn Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent being treated like she borrowed the spotlight instead of owning it.
Caitlyn Clark has received a lot of heat from the players. So this actually says a lot about her, the fact that she's still willing to stand with these players and try to help get what they want. The players do want more money, and you know, I would like to see everybody get paid. You know, I'm never going to be someone to hate on somebody, getting their bread. So I'm not against the players getting paid more. They're taking a stand. This is going to be interesting, man. I was on the fence about how involved Caitlyn would be. I know as far as I felt like she kind of should have been hands off, but Just because of all of the negativity that, bro, you got to understand, from the refs to Kathy to the players who have they've called all of her fans racist.
The real story isn't the injury, it's the culture. A league where petty egos, reckless fouls, and silent whistles are tolerated more than admitting one player is the engine driving the whole machine. And that machine looks downright broken every time that engine limps back to the locker room. So go ahead. Keep pretending this is normal. Keep calling it toughness and grit. Keep dragging the conversation into weird detours about rivalries and learning curves. Meanwhile, the fans aren't blind. They see the difference between hard-nosed defense and cheap shots disguised as effort. They see who's elevating the game and who's doing everything possible to stop it. Eventually, the league will have to answer for this. Not just to Caitlin Clark, but to every fan who bought a ticket, tuned in, or dared to believe women's basketball had finally turned the corner. Turns out that corner was a trap, and right now, Caitlin Clark is paying the price while the league pretends it's all just part of the game. And Christian Booth? Yes, the woman supposedly steering the ship? She might be the worst communicator this side of a dial-up modem. If leadership were a basketball game, she'd be dribbling the ball off her own foot while yelling, "We're growing the game into a paper cup connected to nothing."
I'm incredibly sad and disappointed I can't participate in the three-point contest or the All-Star Game. I have to rest my body. I will still be at Cambridge Fieldhouse for all the action. I'm looking forward to helping Sandy coach our team to a win, and you know she will. Can't wait to see you all out there. So obviously this is disappointing. However, she's absolutely correct. She has to rest her body. This one game, this one event, even though it is a big event, is so small over the course of her career. And what this injury, like if she re-injures it or further strains it, or heaven forbid it's like a tear or something, she just has to rest. Her first goal is to win a WNBA championship, and she can't do that if she re-injures it or further injures it here.
The league's biggest star gets kneed in the groin again, and Angbot's somewhere hosting a growth and grit seminar. Totally unfazed like this is some grand initiation ritual. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Fouls.
This isn't a welcome to the league moment. It's a lawsuit waiting to happen, with a side of career damage. Caitlin Clark didn't aggravate her groin injury from overuse or tying her shoes wrong. She got kneed directly and intentionally in an area even hockey players would call a low blow. And guess what? The refs did absolutely nothing. Because apparently, targeting Caitlin Clark is the one WNBA tradition that refuses to get rebranded. At this point, she might as well wear a bullseye and a kick me sign to save time. Let's be crystal clear. The league's silence here is not neutrality. It's negligence. Caitlin Clark is getting mauled on the court more often than a crash test dummy, and the league's response is another PR puff piece about diversity, hustle, and celebrating physicality. Physicality? This isn't physical. It's criminal, with a Nike logo, and Christy Ongbut, with her warm, fuzzy nothing statements, is acting like Caitlin just needs a protein shake and a pep talk. What Caitlin Clark needs is actual protection. She needs referees who can spot a foul 5 feet in front of them. She needs a commissioner who understands that being popular isn't an open invitation to get assaulted every other game. She needs anyone in authority, who treats her like a professional athlete, not a piñata at a league-sponsored birthday party.
Caitlin Clark looks like she re-aggravated the groin injury that has cost her so many games, and now the league is about to find out. The referee situation in this league is unimaginable. It's an abomination. And because Kathy Engelberg, who just a few weeks ago came out and said the referee situation, the officiating is just fine. Well, we saw Caitlin Clark crash out last night over the refs.
So here's an idea. Maybe it's time Caitlin Clark hits the emergency brake. Maybe she takes the power back and tells the league she's sitting out the rest of the season until Christy Ongbut packs up her inspirational LinkedIn quotes and hands in her league badge. Because clearly, nothing changes unless the league's bottom line is threatened. And nothing threatens the WNBA's bottom line more than its golden ticket walking away, refusing to be a prop in their growth illusion. Can you imagine the chaos? Boardroom panic. Emergency Zoom calls, ESPN anchors fumbling through. Euphemisms like player empowerment, while the league scrambles to find anyone, who can pull half the numbers Caitlin Clark generates just by existing. Suddenly, it's not about a groin injury anymore. It's about the commissioner who let it happen again and again and again. This isn't a fluke. This is a pattern in any other league. When your marquee star is physically targeted and battered in public without recourse, heads roll in the WNBA. They hand out free Angel Reese posters and pretend. The problem is tough defense. It's the same energy as watching your house burn down and responding by handing out marshmallows. There's no universe where this repeated assault would be tolerated if the roles were reversed. If Caitlin Clark was the one throwing the low blows like Mortal Kombat, she'd be ejected, fined, and forced to write a public apology essay with footnotes. But because she's the one getting clobbered, the league's answer is silence and review. No foul. Not even a fake investigation. Just the usual empty, we support all players fluff. Posted in Canva font.
It's called the All-Star Game and not All Stars. As you guys know, there's only one star in the WNBA, and it is highly likely that she is going to be missing the All-Star Game that's being hosted in her home city, which means these other so-called stars in the WNBA, they're going to be expected to achieve the impossible and actually sell tickets. We know the Rue from Waterloo is injured, but do not be discouraged. The WNBA is proud to showcase our elite star.
And it's not like Christy Ongbut is unaware. Oh no, she's not oblivious. She's just exquisitely good at being ineffective. Her brand of leadership is like that person in a group project who insists they're managing everything, while everyone else is doing CPR on a dying presentation. The league is hemorrhaging credibility, and she's out here tweeting "Great game today" like she just discovered hashtags. Caitlin Clark doesn't need fake smiles and empty words. She needs action. She needs someone willing to admit the product is broken, that there's an environment in the WNBA right now that's not just hostile, it's dangerous. And the only person with the authority to fix it is too busy trying to balance political correctness with franchise damage control. So really? What's the alternative? Let Caitlin play through another dozen games while defenders try to extract her spleen one possession at a time. Pretend it's rookie hazing when she gets elbowed in the throat again. Sorry, but growing pains don't usually come with ice packs and orthopedic consultations. This isn't development. This is demolition. If the WNBA truly cared about long-term sustainability, they'd have taken swift, visible action the first time this happened. But because Christy Ongbut runs the league like a part-time HR department in denial, we're now at the point where the best option is for the league's most valuable asset to stage a sit-out. Not for attention, not for leverage, but for safety, for self-preservation, because apparently, the league won't protect her. She has to protect herself.